युञ्जनेवं सदात्मानं योगी नियतमानसः शान्तिं निर्वाणपरमां मत्संस्थामधिगच्छति. Yunjan evam, having engaged in this way, sadatmanam, constantly. Yogi niyatamanas. Yogi has controlled the mind. Shantim nirvana paramam. The yogi attains shanti. Which kind of shanti? Nirvana paramam. The shanti that comes from the supreme nirvana, the supreme liberation from existence. Mat samstham adhigachyati. And one attains my place, mat samstham, or my nature, or comes to me. Now, in the previous verse, Krishna had talked about focusing internally on yoga after the going to secluded place and sitting in asana, and all that was talked from 6.11 to 13. In 14th, Krishna talked about inner disposition of being free from fear and desire and focusing on Krishna. Yukta sita matparaha. So, when one engages steadily in this way, Yunjan evam sadatmanam. Yunjan. This engagement is there, but how long? Sada, constantly. Yunjan evam sadatmanam. Yogi niyatamaanasaha. The yogi is niyatamaanasaha. Is regulated. Constant practicing by which brings the mind under control. So the mind is basically a trainable thing. If we strive to train it, it surely gets trained. It takes time, but that's why they said, evam sadatmanam, by constant engagement. Niyatamanasa, niyata. The yogi engages constantly, and by that the mind comes under control. Shantim nirvana paramam. So the word nirvana, we've discussed, has come several times in the Bhagavad Gita. That it has come firstly in the second chapter 2.72. Eshate brahmisthi partha nainam prapyamiti sitva asyam antakalepi brahma nirvanam richati. So wherever it has come in the past, it has come with the word Brahma. Nirvana is often thought of as a Buddhistic term, but it talks about extinction of existence, as you mentioned. So Krishna is used in the term of sense of Brahma Nirvana earlier, after 2.72, and also 4.24, 25, 26. There also the word is Brahma Nirvana. Here Krishna is using the word Nirvana Paramam. So nirvana usually just means extinction of existence, but here Krishna is talking about not just nirvana, the highest nirvana, the transcendental nirvana. This refers to extinction of material existence followed by the transfer to spiritual existence. And so by the practice of yoga, when one's mind gets regulated, then one no longer pursues material things. One no longer pursues material pleasures, and that way one's material existence ends. But then, because there is also the positive focus, which is mentioned yukta asita matparaha in 6.14d, last line. So because of that positive focus, there is not just nirvana, but there is paramam. So one goes into the spiritual level of existence. Not only does one end on material existence, I mean, with the Buddhist path, the end of the material existence is considered the success. But after end of material existence, there is the situation in spiritual existence. That's what is talked about here. Mat samstham adhigachyati, mat samstham. So, Mat samstham is that one attains my abode. Or now, mat samstham, what exactly does this refer to? That will vary according to the particular yogi's practice and according to one's individual disposition. Which yoga one is practicing, what one's not disposition, conception. So accordingly, it will be determined where exactly one will attain. So it could refer to the attainment of Brahman, if there is a utilitarian conception of Krishna as a tool for meditation. But if there is a more positive conception of Krishna, then one will go beyond the conception of beyond Brahman. One can even attain eventually Bhagwan and supreme liberation therein. So here in this verse, essentially Krishna is telling that the practice consistently Yunjanevam Sadatmanam, and by that practice, this chapter has two key verses about the mind, 6.5 and 6. Of course 7 also talks about the mind. Krishna says here, he says that mind will become niyata manasa. So by consistent practice, get the mind under control, and then shantim nirvana paraman. So now it's interesting, Krishna has used the word shanti over here. So I think shanti is not just in the context of the war, like the shanti, the peace attained through a peace treaty, but it's the shanti, inner shanti that comes from the pacification of desires, not just the pacification of the mind that comes by, we could say, the regulation of the mind, the conquest of the mind through the cessation of desire. So shantim nirvana paramam. Essentially Krishna is saying practice yoga regularly, by which you will be able to attain the supreme perfection. Mat samstham adhigacchati. So the transition from material existence to spiritual existence requires consistent practice, and the concept of nirvana is based largely on a negative focus, on the focus that, this world is a place of misery and we just have to get out of this world somehow or the other. Whereas nirvana paramam, it's like a patient who is sick, wants to become free from sickness. That is the primary goal. But then after becoming free from sickness, what do you want to do? How do you want to live? What job you want to have? What kind of career you want to have? That also has to be considered. But when a person is extremely sick, the focus may just be, I just want to get healthy. However, if one has already a promise and a dream of how one will live after one becomes healthy, then it becomes much easier to get the inspiration to take the serious treatment to eventually become healthy. So like that, bhakti, like the path of jnana, or even the path of shunya, like the Buddhistic path, they focus largely on recognizing how this world is like a place of misery, and so is like our condition is like a disease condition, and so we have to get out of it. But beyond that, the path of bhakti gives a vision of healthy life, and that when we get captivated by the vision of healthy life, then giving up the diseased life becomes much easier. So that is what is the focus here. That shantim nirvana paramam, one attains the transcendental existence, nirvana paramam, by the practice of yoga. Consistent practice. Thank you.